everybody likes to be recorded. It doesn't matter to me.
Hello,
I'm quite happy.
hello, Mr. Alan. Hello.
Hello.
Yay.
Lovely
Nice
to
to
meet
see
you
you.
again.
Yeah, nice to see you. So anyway, today we're going to have maybe a little bit a brief chat with you. So please introduce yourself a little bit so people know about you, right?
Okay, right. Well, my name is Alan Potter, or Alan Keith Potter. I do have a middle name, but I rarely use it, but just simply Alan Potter. I'm a retired lecturer from the UK, where I taught mechanical engineering building services. In other words, it was all about the water system in your property, basically. But I've retired now, and I moved to Spain in 2009, and I bought a one-bedroom apartment, and I live in the province of Andalusia in the southern part of Spain.
Oh.
It's right down at the bottom, the hottest part of Spain. And believe me, it is very hot at the moment. But I've got used to it now, and this was the reason I came to Spain, because I enjoy the climate.
Okay.
Far from so different to the UK.
Okay, thank you. Nice introduction. So anyway, yes, as a mature man, as a mature man, I mean, you got a lot of experiences in life. Kind of, you can notice the generation when in your time and now. Can you compare that? How did you find it about the generation, the young generation nowadays, and in your time, in the past?
Well, you saw the difference this morning. We had the meeting with the class in Madagascar, and I was rather disappointed because it isn't the first meeting. We've had them in the past, but they were really not prepared at all. And I just simply have the opinion that the young generation don't seem to put so much effort into, I mean, this is generally speaking, I mean, many are very studious and dedicated, but here today I was really let down, and it was really the mature students who at least had made the effort and were able to have a bit of a conversation. And I know that two of the girls were quite capable, but somehow were quite happy to sit back and not say anything, which is, as I say, very disappointing. So yes, I hope next time they realise how we feel about this, because it is wasting our time. I mean, I give my time freely, as does Jenny, and we would like a little bit of effort put behind those who we are trying to help or assist with their English. So yes, it was just a bad day today. So we'll underwrite that and hope we have a much better meeting next time.
So generally, what if you compare in your time in the past and right now, nowadays, how is it? Is it something happened? Maybe maybe something is going. I mean, undergoing like quantum leap or degradation. How is it? About maybe kind of more morally, about the moral, or maybe the habit, the young generation. Yes, if you compare.
Once again, I mean, you may think I'm biased, or I'm certainly a different generation.
Yeah, that's why you can compare. I mean, you can compare.
And my grandchildren. Yeah, there's definitely, and of course, I taught 16-year-olds for many, many years. And I know the difference between a 16-year-old, and we're going back, 13 years, but that's not such a big span really. But there was a difference between the way teenagers, which is what they were, 16-year-olds, behaved than the adults, because I had both teenagers and I had classes of adults. And I even had classes of women, and they all varied. But there was definitely a more respect shown from the adults than the younger ones. And I think it's really a lack of discipline. It sounds hard, doesn't it? But it comes from the home, really. I mean, it's the way they're brought up. And if I'm being really blunt, I blame the parents. They really, again, it seems to be going from bad to worse. And just imagine if the today's youngsters are like that now, what will their children be like? I mean, if they really don't really care and respect people and behave, they will also transmit that to their children. And it's even going to get worse. So I really despair sometimes what the outcome will be. But thank goodness in my era, I had quite good groups. And of course, you always get the odd one or two that spoil it for the rest. And you just have to accept that. But I used to really keep them in line. I mean, I wouldn't put up with bad behavior.
Yeah.
If I had a student that disrupts my class, I tell them to leave. Go out the door. There's the door. Please be my guest and leave this room because you are disrupting my class. And I'm not prepared to put up with that. And they know that I had the whip hand because of the situation I was in. So they would button up their, the chatter, and we would get on fine.
So what do you think? When we try to be in their shoes, so what do you think? So actually, what the reason why young generation generally, I think not all, right? Not all. Maybe for some.
Well, no, of course.
Yeah. So what behind that?
Right.
So actually, what behind that about why they didn't be proactive, for example? So what behind that? What the reason? Can you did you think about that?
I think the difference is, I mean, to be fair, people in general are far more affluent now than they were years ago. And it took, dare I say, a war to help to make people wake up and appreciate life and material things. Today, people have got everything. You know that they don't have to. I mean, yes, of course, there's still poor people out there, but the majority have got everything. Certainly in the UK, you look at every household, everybody's got a car. The parents have got a car, the children have got a car, they've got computers, they've got everything. So really, they haven't had to work hard for it. It's being given to them on a plate, as we call it, fed with a silver spoon. You know, I think you appreciate something more if you have to work hard for it. But if it's just given to you, well, you know, it doesn't strike a chord quite so much. I mean, it's like these people that go to university. They get their degree and they've worked hard to get that. And I think they respect life and people more than those that haven't had to work hard. I mean, nice if you've been born into a wealthy family. And I feel sorry for those people probably in a way than those that haven't. But the people from all walks of life, and some are good and some are bad, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, sometimes when people who were born in a family which is a rich family, they're lucky to be born in that family. Yeah, because I think maybe also the environment impacted a lot about their habit. All right, about their habit. So, as a parent, for example, as an old person like myself, like we like the teachers, for example. So what we have to do actually to encourage them to be more proactive or to be more positive and spend their time.
Well, I think that kind of thing needs to be a special lesson in school. It's not all down to the parents. Yes, it stems from the home, But I do continue. I don't know what sort of topic you would call it. Citizenship, I think, is probably be a good name. How one is supposed to behave in public, wherever, you know, doesn't matter where you are. This is how you should behave. It's teaching them good manners and respect. And unfortunately, that isn't taught in the schools in UK today. I cannot speak for Spain. I've no idea, and it wouldn't be for me to dictate to them. But I know what goes on in the UK schools, and this is something that is lacking. You know, it is something that ought to continue through their teenage years. A lesson on behaviour, if you like, call it what you like. You know, what is expected, how you address people from different, you know, talk about racism, if you like, talk about gender, transvestites, gays, lesbians. So what? It's here. They need to know these things, and they need to know, you know, when to, how can I say, what your ideas are towards people who are, I won't say they're not normal, because nowadays gay marriages are the norm.
Everything like transform, right? Like transformation. So for some, I mean, so many in some countries they disagree because maybe for their religion about the gender, you know, transgender, for example, like this, it is not acceptable in some country, all right? But how to see this, all right, and then to prevent bad behavior, which is harmful for the next generation. How is it?
Well, see, again, that's another thing. This should all be in part of life skills, if you like. That at the school, there's no reason why you cannot have a lesson just purely on religion, if you like. And of course, we're a multicultural society now, particularly in the big cities. And they must realize they don't all come from the same religion. There's Buddhism and Catholics and goodness knows what else. And I think it's nice to know what the difference is in their culture, because I come across this when I talk to people and I ask them a question and I try to be diplomatic, and they say, well, we don't do that, or we're not allowed to do that. It's not my religion. Now, I don't know what their religion is, and I would love to know more so that I am better prepared to speak to them without offending them, because some people can be easily offended by something you say. It's through lack of, well, you know, we just got to be, we need teaching. We're never too old to learn. And this is another part of the learning experience. Talk about bringing all these things, politics, if you like, the difference between the politicians, religion, without, you know, racism and all the rest of it. It covers 1,001 things, really, that I think children ought to be taught in school. But I don't see it coming, quite honestly.
Yeah, I think, you know, when we come to, you know, public conversation, I think this is not, you know, I feel uncomfortable when bring up something kind of sensitive topic, you know, kind of religion, because not everyone having like open-minded, you know. So
no. So would you say you are open-minded or not?
Hey, yes, I do, because, you know, I am you know, I would love to listen everything, you know. I would like to see or to hear many different perspectives of people, and then what I'm doing, that is my choice, right? But this doesn't mean, so this doesn't mean what they say, it doesn't mean that I'm going to follow them. This is just, I have to filter it, right, to sort it in my own, which one is good for me, it is suitable with me, that's it, right? So I'm open-minded, according my opinion. It's just about willingly to listen to many different perspective of others and opinions. Yeah, that is it.
Yes, I mean, you want to listen. You know, I mean, I don't know much of many topics I don't know anything about, and I would like somebody to explain to me. It's not that I may not agree with it, but that's not to say I would condemn it. I say, well, if that's what you think, fine. You know, I mean, in the early days when I first came to Spain and I was looking for friends to speak to,
Mhm.
and obviously I met quite a few that wanted to improve their English. And I met a young lady, and of course it turned out she was a lesbian.
Oh.
That means her best friend was her girlfriend, and
Mm.
she would treat her just like a lover, you know. Uh, I mean, I said, well, this is really quite strange, you know. But of course, she felt very embarrassed about it. I said, well, don't worry. I said, I'm not going to fall out with you or condemn you just because you falling in love with another young lady. You know, that's your private life, not mine. And as long
Yeah.
as it doesn't hinge on me, I say good luck to you. And of course, she would share all sorts of secrets with me about their relationship. And I think, wow, my gosh, this is this is really quite something.
Yeah.
But
Is it?
I can never quite understand why another man wants to marry another man. I mean, but then you know, perhaps I've got different genes to the gay people, obviously. Otherwise, I would want to look for a man. I don't particularly want to do that.
Yeah, that's funny. I think I found it is funny, but so for some people they take it like seriously, you know. Oh, you weren't
Yeah,
born like this, you did like that, you know. But that is it, you know, when we deal with worldwide people, we have to understand their choices, right, in life. So we cannot make them or we cannot like they want to follow our rules, you know, to be like this like
yeah.
that, you know. Yeah, so yeah, this is life. We have to understand that. So anyway, let's get back to the learning English environment. So uh so what actually for the young generation have to do to make their future better, to make the better place for the world?
I think nothing will change unless they are prepared to listen. And that is the biggest downfall. They are not prepared to listen. They seem to have all the right answers and are self-opinionated. So quite honestly, I can't see anything changing, quite honestly. Until their attitudes change, nothing, you know, and they take on board what advice is given to them rather than saying, "Oh yeah, we know what you're old-fashioned." That's what you get when you start to give some advice. I'm talking about UK now. This is a different culture, maybe to Indonesia, but they'll probably say, "Oh yeah, we know all about that. You're old-fashioned, you know. We don't do that these days." And they like to feel that they're very assertive and they know all the answers. And I say to them, "You've got a lot to learn, you know." But I don't get involved in arguments with them. There's no point because they don't seem to want to listen. So no, I can't see a change happening, quite honestly.
Is
Not with
that
young people.
well, is there culture take a role or take a part when people like to sigh to speak? Is that culture take a part, or maybe their habit and in their environment? So they like
Yeah.
so for example, as you said that oh they just like silent, there is no feedback, you know. So what is it? Does the culture take a part to
Yes.
okay? Oh, how is it? Why?
I think I think unless the parents take a hard stance. In other words, I mean, obviously we love our children, and I think what they don't want to do is upset them because they're going to give them a hard time.
Hmm.
Rather than saying, no, I'm not going to let this position fester. I'm saying to you, this is what I want you to do. But I don't think we're getting that kind of reaction between parents and children. They would sooner have a quiet life and say, oh, well, you get on with it, which really isn't doing them any favors. Unless, if they were to stand their ground and say, no, I'm not going to put up with this. In future, I want you to do X, Y, Z. And I'm going to watch that you do it. It's almost like disciplinary things, which usually, dare I say, most youngsters will take care of the dad, of the father. And this is like you were saying, where the father figure comes in, it can make all the difference than a single parent. I think generally speaking, it depends on your relationship with your children. And if they have respect for you, then fine. They will pass it on to their children and so on. But I don't know. I mean, I can only give my honest opinion and not think that I'm going to be a dictator.
No, we just free here to convey our thoughts. It is kind of just to share your opinion. Maybe it is useful for others who listening us, especially
Yeah,
for young generation. How to be a little bit successful in their life, Kodik, because
yeah,
you were born in English speaking country. Maybe you can
yeah,
you can and now you live like independently in another country, all right? So because
yeah.
everyone on this planet want to be independent and not dependent on
Of
anyone,
course.
right? Yeah.
Yes, that's
So
right.
that's why this is just our thought about what the generation they should have to do to make a better place, all right? The world better
A
place.
better world.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, as you know, the world over, it's not just UK, the world over are suffering the highest crime rate in history.
Mm.
Crime and shooting in
Mm.
UK lately is people are being stabbed with knives. And every day it's on the news, a young teenager is being
Yeah.
stabbed to death. That just shows you the way we're heading. And this shooting in America, a school of children have been shot down by some maniac with a gun. Even the teacher was shot. I mean, it's absolutely appalling. I think the country needs to get a grip of this situation before it gets too far. Otherwise, the children will be going to school with guns in their satchels, thinking that I need to take a weapon with me, which is I need to protect myself. And that's the answer. Children are carrying knives with them. And when they're caught, they say, what are you carrying a knife with you for? They say, well, it's there to protect myself. It's making the situation worse, isn't it?
Oh,
Thank
maybe.
goodness guns aren't so
Yeah.
prevalent as they are in America.
Yeah, I think also like in my country as well. But let alone in this situation, people losing their job and get stressed. Like
Yeah,
doing mutilation. Just like they killing the kids and then doing mutilation. It is
yeah,
really crazy. So yeah, this is like impact economical issue, like impact in their life as well, really, and also like stressful life. So yeah, anyway, as I told you, I promised you to only for 20 minutes, but actually, when we talking about this, it's never enough. Maybe for hours, it's never enough. All right, and just time flies when talking about this. All right, maybe next time
yeah,
we can do this. All right.
yeah,
Uh, so anyway, thank you for this for your time. You
yeah.
took aside time for me. So thank you so much. Really happy to have a chat with you anyway. So yeah, everyone, hello. Thank you for watching. See you for the next one. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.